Hello, Soul Family. This is Robbie from Guided by Fire, and happy new Supermoon in Libra. And I want to thank you all for the likes and comments and booking personal readings and healings. So, I haven't been on here for a while. I was guided to take a forced break because I've gone through some positive changes since the middle of September. And one of the things, and on this twin flame journey, even though I am addressing the Divine Empress, the Divine Feminine, and I know every single one of us have been through an extremely challenging year with this wood snake. And the last two moon cycles, especially with the eclipse season, brought in changes. And a lot of us, as on this twin flame journey, is being in service. And we're going to be in service in many different ways. I know many of you have changed homes, or changing homes still, or planning to and wanting to by soul. Changing areas, changing careers. And I know this was a year of collapsing of the old, several tower moments, several new beginnings, little new beginnings. And this new moon, I am guided to pull out the new moon manifestation oracle deck. And I've been guided to even make changes on my channel here in business. So, it was interesting for me. In the 3D worlds, we would say, went back to work. And did I? Yes. But I don't even call this a job. It was soul aligned, and it is serving the community. And many of you know that I am also a registered nurse. So I am doing something completely different from it. I am not in a hospital. I am not in an actual clinic. I work for a plasma donation company. And we went through, this is interesting. So I went through changes during the day, working, from 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And it was a big change. Leaving the house super early, and I don't work that far from my home. I don't work that close. So where I live, I'm outside the outskirts of the city of New York. So I work in Queens, in Jamaica. I was taking the train, and interesting, going on really long walks in nature to and from work, and even my own. And been going through a whole rebuilding and part of this rebirth. And anyway, so I had went through this last Sunday, and it was everybody at work. I knew this was soul aligned even when I went to the interview the beginning of August 5th, and was hired. But everything takes time, everything happens in divine timing, and I knew that was going to happen. And I knew my guides and spirit team were going to make things better. This is why patience is power with ourselves and with this journey and manifesting. Because we manifest from soul now. We're not manifesting from ego. Anyway, so I felt like I knew these people from a past life, and I was like, wow, and they know me. And a lot of people, so we went through a whole change at work, another rapid change and they changed their hours. Instead of closing at 2 p.m., they are closing at 7:30 p.m. And it was like the last week in September around my birthday, they call it assistant center manager. She said, she was asking all of us, are we willing to work in the evening? And a lot of people couldn't and said no. I said yes because it was better for me. She put me down. So I was the primary person. So it's changes everyone went through with their schedules, and that Sunday it was a bit chaotic. And here's the thing, and it was validating that change can be very exciting and fearful at the same time, which is normal. And then once you go past that fear, you're like, okay, what else is next? Now everything starts to feel like an adventure of taking that leap of faith. So people are still getting used to it. People were stressed. But the energy changed for everyone's best and highest good, not just for me with that change, giving me fear release, a little burp. Couple of people noticed that they weren't feeling chaotic. Donors weren't feeling the chaotic energy. But that's a sign that chaos takes place before the change and things start to smooth out. So there's a lot getting used to for everybody, and definitely I was not alone. So leaving, finishing work at 9:30, we could stay up until 9:45 is our time, or we can go earlier. Anything after that will be overtime. But anyway, everyone gets paid. All the donors get paid, and obviously us. And I didn't call this a job. I call this being in service. And I don't even call it a paycheck. I call it a gift from spirit. Because money is energy. And it's always flowing. And if it starts to flow in, you may be going through an increase in finances. And finances are straightening out. I know a lot of us have went through financial challenges. But that was for our soul growth. And we have learned a lesson not to chase. In the beginning, when you're divine masculine, when that first separation happens, and we go through those healing stages, and we went through more and more, and now we're reaching, some of you were already in the surrender stage, or the middle. And that's the last stage before another reunion, or many of you, it'll just be union. If you went through a couple of reunions. Because everyone's journey is different, because you're different in your one energetic system, your one soul. And I'm going to be doing a little bit more talking. So I may be talking more than doing cards. So this is one of the changes to the channel here. And especially because a lot of these may be reminders, because every one of you when you are on a twin flame journey, you are part of the 144 million that on this earth that is raising the vibration of humanity and the planet. And this is why this is so important, that the work that you do on yourself never ever goes unnoticed. It becomes a ripple effect. So you may have walked into a room, wherever that is, and all of a sudden people are triggered without you saying anything. That's how powerful you are. And you're helping others, healing and releasing what's no longer serving them. You could feel, as an empath, you could feel, all those energies. That's one of the gifts that can be a blessing and a curse. So I was guided to pre-shuffle this deck for you guys. So this is going to be a little bit different, because many of us went through emotions and changes and a roller coaster just before this new moon energy came in. So you may be feeling the actual peak of the moon cycles, feeling smoother for you. And also, tomorrow we are going through the transformation energy from Libra to Scorpio season. It's going to be an interesting Scorpio season. And I also want to talk about karmic endings. And there were heavy karmic endings You know, as a divine feminine and divine empress, you could feel that energy getting super light, like burdens being released. Some of your connections have had karmic partners. You may have had a karmic partner. Some of your connections have had other karmic situations that have ended. There might have been a karmic job. There might have been a karmic home. There might be karmic family members that you have physically walked away from, and their energy might have been pulling. And this is one reminder that there is only one thing karmic people, places, and things is teach lessons, and these lessons are painful. Some of these lessons, when they are playing out and we're in that lower vibration and we're releasing things in stages with the karmic endings, that we do feel lighter, they do let go, and they do end. And it comes once that lesson or lessons have been learned, down comes the scaffolding, and it's going to go, and the energy is going to dissipate, not just in the 5D, but in the 3D, whatever is attached to it. And it can be hard when we're used to being in that cycle. Not easy. When there's a change taking place, it is stepping out of your comfort zone. And because of that, a lot of fear, different types of fear we're releasing for everyone, even with me. And this is interesting. When I got hired for this soul-aligned position, I was releasing from the past all old fears from every old job I've had. And it was going back as far as being a teenager. From every little thing, from old bosses, from old person, everything was wiped out clean. It was really like a clean slate, and we were starting from the beginning brand new. I had extremely beautiful, loving support of what I went through. And I was getting epiphanies at work. So, much more positive in a higher vibration environment. We have music playing all the time. We went through better changes, and nobody's being stressed out like they were. Just getting used to them. So that's also the good news, and it's been validating a lot of things around. Interesting things happening at work, validating. Increase mirrored numbers going to and from work. So the cards that I have pulled, and we're going to come out with the first one. So this has been pre-shuffled, so I'm not really going to be shuffling cards. Just going to move the camera back. Yeah, first quarter moon in Scorpio. So right now, a lot of us on the deepest level, just all the blocks are being released. This is why all the lighter energy we're feeling. And things are going to get lighter by the hour. And when we go into Scorpio season, we're going to keep feeling lighter energy because it's part of this rebirth. And, you know, interesting, Scorpio, the sun sign, the major arcana in tarot is the death card. So things were dying, coming to a final end. So whatever karmic situation you're in has come to a final end, either on an energetic level or a physical level. If it happened on the physical level, because it happened energetically. And it was no longer aligned, no longer serving you. You learned those lessons. And it's interesting how, you know, the last Scorpio season and the last Scorpio new moon and full moon, seeing past the illusions, increased, you know, spiritual gifts enhanced, you know, and you see this person here by still water, grounding, very earthy energy. So always remind you to ground and stay grounded. And some of you may have to keep grounding all day long as needed. And then we have the first quarter moon in Leo, being humble. You know, when we're humble, we're being another more grounding energy, even though this is fixed earth, fixed water, fixed fire. So we got 2 first quarter moons here and 2 major and 2 fixed signs. So you may be asking for peace, and you may be asking to be in silence and enjoy the silence and the peace out in nature. And all of this, you could be forgiving yourself, forgiving the situations. Last quarter moon in Capricorn, yeah, you're leaving the past behind. And this Scorpio season, again, is going to help you feel much more lighter because you're leaving the past behind. And anything else from the past is going to be like gone, no reconciliation of it. And some of you, depending on the karmic endings that took place, what happens is, especially with Saturn still in retrograde, they're receiving their karma. They're not immune from receiving karma. They have to face their fears. They have to go on their own path. And they're going to be going through it at least 5 times. And I was feeling this from Spirit and my team. They're going to be feeling this 5 times as intense you were. Okay? They could be coming to knock on the door to apologize for whatever silly thing on a closed cycle. If you've closed those cycles, you're not opening those cycles. When that world card comes up, you're not opening. A cycle is closed and there's a new one beginning. So a lot of us that have been ascending, I went through a very long 3.5 week ascension cold. The longest I've ever went through, and severe throat chakra clearing blockages and upgrades. And that was not fun. But got through it, you know, and just knew I was ascending higher. And my journey is ascending higher to serve humanity. Yeah, last quarter moon in Libra. So this is interesting. We got 2 last quarter moons, 2 first quarter, making time for self-love. So this is important. And with the new moon in Libra, you may be guided to self-care and self-nurture, whether it is rest, taking a nap, taking time for yourself, you know, allowing all this energy to work for you. And it's not working to you, and it's working for you. And we have first quarter moon in Pisces, more water energy, a lot of stillness here in these cards. So we have air, fire, and water, air and water. But there's a lot of earthy energy, a lot of still waters. Honor your feelings. So whatever emotions you're releasing, just know and trust you are letting go of things that are no longer serving you. And that the light at the end of that tunnel is going to come quickly. And honor your feelings, embrace it, whatever it is. Whether it's anger, fear, being released, or however fear can be released in so many different ways. It could be released through crying, anxiety, could be released through anger, and you know on a deep level that karmic energy is all 100% fear-based and ego. And honor your feelings. You're releasing that, and which is important. You're not holding on to things anymore that are holding you back from moving forward, because this is a forward-moving journey. Yeah, new moon in Leo, shine. And a lot of these feelings that you've been releasing, starting to embrace, the epiphanies will come. It's because you will be shining your light brighter. And you see all the sunflowers here with this new moon in Leo? Happiness. You know, when you see the sun, you feel happy. You see a sunflower, ooh, there's a bit of happiness coming, because happiness is an inside job. You're choosing happiness. Making that choice. Setting your intentions. You could be setting those intentions without realizing it. Not allowing the ego to slip up, slip in, or to have a kickoff. But sometimes it will happen for a moment. But it won't be happening for a lengthy period of time because you've released that fear and you're breathing in love and breathing in peace and breathing out that fear. Yeah, full moon in Virgo, and this is more earthy, grounding energy. Taking inspired action. And what's been coming up with this, your Divine Emperor is taking inspired action. Okay, so what I'm getting is if they've been on your social media looking, whatever social media platform it is, it could be any of them, they are wanting to reach out. And when we take inspired action, it can be fearful, but just know and trust, have patience, and going by your intuition when to take inspired action, because before we take inspired action, we are always setting an intention, okay? We're telling the universe, I'm taking inspired action. What is your intention? So you may be guided to sit still and ground. This is a reminder with the Virgo energy, is to ground yourself before taking inspired action, because that is a very powerful thing. And we have the full moon in Cancer, and we're absolutely. This just validated letting your fears dissolve. Letting go. When we take that leap of forward, let the fears dissolve first before taking inspired action. Should I not? But always remember to keep the faith here, is that once we take inspired action, we need to surrender it to spirit, to the divine, and let it go and detach from the inspired action. And that's what you're learning. This is very important reminder that's coming up from spirit, is to detach and surrender when we take inspired action, by giving it to the universe, because they're always going to do things better. And especially when we set our intentions. And we have two cards, two last ones here, and they're both in Sagittarius. Woo. Which is a really positive energy. Yeah, the full moon in Sagittarius, seeing the bigger picture. And last quarter moon in Sagittarius, practice gratitude. And this is what is really important, is being and staying in gratitude for the little things. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you're in gratitude is that you're happy to see the sunlight, making it to another day, being in gratitude for being healthy, because health is wealth, and that is part of infinite abundance, not just money and material things. Being in gratitude for support, the love around you, wherever that's coming from. And once we're in gratitude, and this is interesting, if you've transitioned into a soul-aligned position, like a career change, you're going to be in gratitude every day for it. It's raising your vibration, or in gratitude for getting something done. Being in gratitude for being proud of how far you've come. Yeah, seeing the bigger picture. So lots of epiphanies are going to be happening with this new moon. And even as we move into Scorpio season, start to move into Scorpio season tomorrow, the gratitude is going to increase. Because once something ends, think of the Death card. This transformation for higher aligned, anything and everything that you've been manifesting. Everything that is aligned with your energy. And it's important to stay in gratitude to raise your vibration, because this Scorpio season, you're going to be seeing a lot of surprises. A lot of, spiritual gifts. Could be your own gifts are going to be increasing things at client, soul, family, expansion, soul clients, expansion, things expanding, people are coming into balance with the Libra season. You're going to start seeing those things coming into alignment in the Scorpio season. We all are going to shed what no longer serves us, what comes up to the surface. And you're not looking to constantly heal something anymore. You're not in a chasing energy anymore. And one of those things that have been mirrored back, that lesson to you from your divine emperor, is not to chase, not chasing the connection, not chasing them. They are now being magnetized back to you. So whatever heavy emotions, tower moments, even maybe a dark night of the soul, it is because they are moving toward you for communication. And it isn't just that. Everything else is being magnetized toward you. So always stay in gratitude and seeing the bigger picture. And you will see the bigger picture. And I'm getting epiphanies with that full moon in Sagittarius. You could be around people that are Sagittariuses, with a very high vibrational energy that's raising your vibration. That fiery passion. You see how that arrow goes toward the target, going exactly for what you want. And also, interestingly enough, how things come into alignment, and everything comes into alignment, everything comes toward us in divine timing. But you know and trust, you may see 111s pop up and 222s. You may see 2222 or 1111 and 1212s. And 12 adds up to a 333, Ascended Masters. And 1212 is also about stability as well. Safety and security. When I see that 1212, I'm like, oh, nice, thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been seeing also 1, 2, 3, 4 after 1212. You could be seeing a lot of 444s as well. I haven't seen, and this is something to keep in mind, I don't know who needs to hear this. Remember when a lot of us were seeing a lot of 9s, 999, 9999, coming spiritual growth, spiritual expansion, but coming to an end of a cycle. So if you're not seeing any 9s anymore, it's because all the cycles that needed to come to an end for you have ended. And since the powerful 1010 portal, very intense, potent energy, I've been just seeing 1010s lately, a lot. So the new ending and the new beginning of a new cycle, and it's a major new cycle that's beginning. And so basically today, could be tomorrow, you could be seeing things manifesting like this. And Scorpio season is going to be a nice, pleasant surprise for all of us. Because everything that came to a death and an ending is now coming to everything brand new that we've manifested. So, those are the messages from the New Moon Manifestation deck. And definitely comment below. Let me know what's been coming up for you in your journey. A lot of karmic endings. And I know one of the things on my journey, and it's already been gone, ended, mine was with a karmic partner and that ended. But one of the things I am in, such a deep gratitude for that. And it took a long time for that epiphany to happen and for the gratitude to come in. I had to deal with a karmic situation of a couple of karmic family members. I mean, the soul contracts had to end, and I'll tell you a little story. And especially how powerful forgiveness is and how you forgive. When you forgive yourself, and you can only forgive yourself first for what you might have done or felt before you can forgive anyone else. Always remember that. I forgave them in the situation, but I had set the intention to let them go, close out the cycle, and that's it. You're not welcome to follow. You are not welcome to come along with me on this journey. Your energy, you do not have permission to penetrate my energy field or my space. Called in, obviously, Archangel Michael. And they tried to come. It was interesting. I had a cousin text me that hasn't spoken to me in a year. And there was just nothing animosity, no arguing, no fighting, just fell off, right? Just no longer in alignment. And some things will just fall off depending on what the situation is. This was Sunday and I was at work and my phone has to be on silent. We're not allowed on our phones where I am. Or extreme limitedly. It can only be done very quickly. But anyway, just said, hi, how are you? And said, your grandmother wants to talk to you. Really wants to talk to you. I just looked at the message. I might have went through an annoyed moment for the 2 minutes, and I just took 3 deep breaths, and I said, no, I don't need to speak to you. I don't, and for what for? I don't, and nor do I want to. I said, cycle closed. You're not opening or prying opening the door. And I went through, and I'm going to share this as a personal experience with this type of karmic situation in person. And I had turned 51 September 29th. And I realized age to me is obviously just a number. Didn't get a birthday card from her or any additional gift, which was fine. I was okay with that. Perfectly fine and okay with it. Because here's the thing, money is energy. And it depends, and it's also the intention that's behind it with money. That's another lesson I had learned. It's one of those energies that obviously you set your intentions with, right? I ignored the text. So the night ended, and I looked at it again. I said, no, I'm not responding. I am not giving it energy. I didn't respond. I didn't even react by myself. I just allowed for whatever the 2 minutes it was to release. And it was a final release. And just deleted the message and sent that and did a return to sender, sent that energy away to have it transmuted with love and light. And I blessed it, blessed them, and sent them on their way. Yeah. I was not spreading that energy to nobody else at work. No, thank you. So, anyway, karmic cycle closed. Could be whatever the reason it was. And she'll be 94 next month. Doesn't speak her truth. That's why I had the throat chakra blockage. Just release. And it wasn't me not speaking my truth. Interesting how when the throat chakra comes up when someone doesn't speak their truth. I never spoke their truth to save their life. And you're not going to be aligned with anyone that doesn't speak their divine truth. Or truth, period. Or their authentic self. Because you've already healed that within you. So, I was like, no, thank you. Let it go. And moved on. So, let's see. So there's a little thing there about a karmic situation that's been long gone closed. She could just sit there and transcend for all I care. But we're going to pull some cards. Let's just get some final messages because this is a quickie today. I have to work. From the beautiful Liz Harrison, the messages through music oracle deck, because many of you are receiving messages through music. And I've been receiving messages consistently through music. Yeah. Oops. Yes, you are eternal twin flames. Releasing all doubt about this connection. This is confirmation from heaven that you and the person you are asking about are twin flames. So if you have been going through any doubts about the connection, or is this real, even though you are in preparation and no contact, yeah, 1111, I said you're going to be seeing those a lot. I've been seeing them. Yeah, realizations. Your twin flame is realizing that everything they have ever wanted or needed has been right in front of them the whole time. So they've come to the Emperor, this realization. They're understanding that you are twin flames and seeing 1111. So Just a reminder, if you're seeing the 1111, your Divine Emperor is seeing the 1111 too. You will both are seeing the same numbers. Wow, your twin flame never forgets you. No, they don't. You don't forget after that first soul recognition. You don't forget after that first initial dark night of the soul. Your twin flame will never forget you. They are letting you know through music that you matter, and they do care, and they will prove this to you soon. So you could be feeling this energy of unconditional love and support from your Divine Emperor in the 5D, very heavy, if you're going through something. So if you're going through something, what you feel from them, they feel from you. Yeah. Next message, you are on a roller coaster. Absolutely. This journey is a roller coaster, isn't it? Right. And you can't get off, and you can never get off. You will have highs and lows, twists and turns, and get thrown upside down, but it is all part of the process, so let go and enjoy the ride. You are safe, loved, and never alone. This is really an important final message that came out. You know, it is a roller coaster ride. It is a beautiful journey. And when we're on this roller coaster, sometimes we get on the next roller coaster. And when we're on this roller coaster, we are healing and releasing and letting go for things on a final let go. So you could be feeling final let goes of things that no longer serve you, things that are no longer triggering you anymore. Or if things do still trigger, they're not going to trigger for that long. You can breathe through it and be like, this isn't triggering me no more. It's because it's not. You healed and released it completely on the deepest level. Part of the rebirth. So when something never triggers you anymore, that means it's already been healed and dissolved. But it is part of the process. And it gets intense. But always breathe. And this is really, this message is saying intuitively, I'm picking up, is to breathe through whatever it is. Taking 3 deep breaths through the nose and out through the mouth. You may want to do it again and again and over again. And you just need to know you are safe, loved, and never alone. Even if there is just you in a home, a flat, apartment, or room, whatever you are never alone. Ever. Even if physical people are not there, and you know this as a Divine Empress, you are always loved, safe, and never alone and protected. Even though that's not on this card, but this is what they're giving me as safe, loved, and protected. Sometimes the roller coaster stops. Sometimes goes on a different roller coaster, maybe a smoother ride. And I just want to pull a couple of cards on the Twin Flames Messages Tarot. The bottom of the deck was screaming at me. The Wheel of Fortune. Everything is happening the way it's meant to. Have faith in divine timing. And this is also telling me, not just having faith in divine timing, the wheel is turning in your favor. Everything else is working out exactly the way it has been planned and divinely orchestrated by the divine. Your union, your reunion, your manifestations, all the changes, positive changes of moving forward. You know, if you fell rock bottom this year, Divine Empress, you can only move up. And the wheel is turning in your favor. And divine timing happens by surprise when it's an exact energetic match. So just know and trust and have faith that it is all working out for your best and highest good. And I saw something last night at work that, you know, people went through the changes in the schedule. And that was what threw people off Sunday. But I was feeling this very heavy energy with everyone. It was happening not just for the donors and us that work there. And we are all serving humanity and all serving, being in service in that building. Doesn't matter, donor or not, donor or employee. Everything was working out for everybody's best and highest good. So, Could be seeing lots of wheels of fortunes. Let's see if we can get another message, if there is one. Ooh, lovely. Strength. You are tougher than any challenge that is facing you, and you are. A lot of you are seeing an increase of strength as you get through and as the challenges. Some of these challenges may also be getting less and less and easier to manage, deal with, and work through, where it's going to feel like a breeze, because God, the universe, and the divine will never give you anything that you cannot handle. And you will know you are in the exactly where you are when you see a 717 pop up. If you are not sure, is this right for me or whatever, and a 717 pops up someplace, the universe is telling you, you're fine. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Yeah. 7 of Wands. Last message. Stand up for what you believe in and always be true to yourself. Yeah, absolutely. This is about visibility healing. Being true and authentic to yourself so you can be true and authentic to others around you and the collective and humanity. And you see her there with her these sparks of fiery fireworks. That is her light shining bright. And you know what I'm picking up from this this energy right here with this 7 of Wands? Not just getting up to standing up for what you believe in. And when you do, your light shines so bright, you're going to be triggering. I see her, praying to the divine and asking for help, and her light shining brighter. So I am also feeling this is also you continuously going to trigger others around you. And just remember not to take anything personally, any of their reactions, because it's happening for their best and highest good, not just for yours. So these are the messages for this new moon, new supermoon in Libra, my loves. And you would like to book a reading, email me at robbiesfirepitofmagic474@gmail.com. And the PayPal address, the email, just check the description box below. If you would like to book an ISA light code meditation healing, you can email me at the same address to book those. Those are at various prices. Right now, all readings are on special for $110 off the $111. So, anyway, so I'm wishing you all a happy super new moon in Libra, and I am wishing you all a beautiful, magical day and rest of the week, my loves. See you. Bye.